Good morning, everybody. Tuesday, August 9th, the Bat Next Release Show on cover. He, as always, is the man, Derek Carty. I am Adam Turnoff, filling in for Josh Ingles, who he gets another vacation in the summer. The guy is living well, but taking care of his duties here on the show for this entire week. So I'll be with you today as well as Thursday and Friday. Derek, new living room setup behind you. Looks very fancy from the skyline difference. It's got a nice, like, sort of mountain lodge feel to it.
Yeah, I know, right? Now I got a new virtual backdrop. I haven't had a chance to like figure it out yet. So this is just like the only default background that StreamYard offered. So
you dressed up for the occasion as well. It all goes together very well.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta show up. We gotta give the people what they want.
Well, we're going to give the people what they want in the way of a multiple number of MLB props today. I was requesting at minimum 5 stolen base props in the chat as a joke, but we've actually got a lot to get to. So people are going to be busy today, jumping around from sportsbook to sportsbook, but I will do my best here to guide everyone through and to get things going just for those who may be joining for the first time. Important to remember the release procedure here because these are props. It is a volatile market, and Derek and the Bad X win a lot. And so what that is going to do is with everybody betting here on the show, things are going to move in a hurry. So we try to get you to the same spot all together to bet at the same time. So I'll start off by saying what game we are betting at. And I'll also tell you what sportsbook at the time that we started recording 2 minutes ago has the best odds. I'll tell you what prop market we are betting on after that, so you can go through and navigate to find that market. Then I will put 3, 4, and 5 together today because it's a busy one. I'll tell you the bet as well as the over or the under for each of them so we can get to the same spot. Derek, I think the rust is off. We're rolling here 2.5 minutes in. You ready to go?
Let's do it.
All right. So the first release of the day will come at FanDuel for the best odds as of a couple minutes ago, but this is something that will be widely available. So if you do have FanDuel, jump over to FanDuel right now. If you have anywhere else, you're going to be able to find this at your sportsbook. And we'll start off with the game, which is Atlanta at Boston. The Braves at the Red Sox. So we'll let you navigate to the Atlanta-Boston game within the menu. We'll give you a couple seconds to catch up, and I will tell you what market we are going after. The market for the first release of the day that we're going to be targeting is pitcher strikeouts. So this will be a pitcher strikeout prop. Again, the best price for this one, once we started going, is at FanDuel. Mick Smith behind the scenes here with the automatic zoom. Things are improving for quality of video for those watching on a phone anywhere in the United States, Canada, or around the world. But we're looking at pitcher strikeouts in Atlanta, Boston. And the first release of the day is Charlie Morton under 5.5 strikeouts plus 104. So we're going with Morton under 5.5 plus 104. So Andrew mentioned that some books were jumping the gun a little bit. They took that number down for Morton. Derek, this was a number that was moving earlier today. So curious to see, were you able to get the 5.5 plus 104 at FanDuel? Where else were you playing? Let us know in the chat. Derek, what's going on with Morton today? Under 5.5 strikeouts. I love the fade, but let's talk about it here.
Yeah. So, like we said, this is a number that has been moving today. MGM pulled it off the board a little bit earlier. We had plus 115 over there for a while. They pulled off all the Morton props earlier because I think it's sharp to hit the under here. He's going into Fenway. He's going into a very difficult hitter's park, one of the best hitter's parks in baseball. He's facing a Red Sox offense that is both really good and underrated and has added several bats at the trade deadline. They added Tommy Pham, who's really good. They added Eric Hosmer, who is a very low strikeout bat. And so if we're getting plus odds here, the bat's projecting 4.7. So, 5.5 plus 104 is pretty nice.
Great value, and especially so for Malcolm Gillis, Betway plus 110, so even better than that price of 104 at release. First release of the day, Charlie Morton under 5.5 strikeouts. We will continue on with release number 2 of the day. It is a busy show. This price is best available as of 5 minutes and 19 seconds ago at Caesars Sportsbook. Also see Spencer K. He was able to get 6.5. So that was the number earlier we were referencing prior to the move. So
if you were able to get 6.5 earlier today, that's really good.
Great price for Spencer in the chat on the first release. Second release, again, at Caesars was the best available price. We are going back to the Atlanta-Boston Red Sox game. So there's another bet within the Braves and Red Sox game. Best price that you can find for this as of 6 minutes ago now was at Caesars. So we'll give everybody a couple seconds to get back into the Braves Red Sox menu. The market that we are looking at for this game is pitcher outs, pitcher total outs. It is a outs prop that we're looking at within the Braves Red Sox game. And I'll go a little bit quicker on this one. The second release of the day, Charlie Morton under 17.5 outs, minus 102. Following up with the strikeout prop that was given out first, Morton under 17.5 outs, minus 102 was available at Caesars. Derek, much of the same logic applies here. You have the Red Sox lineup, underrated, added a few bats that are anti-strikeout, but you think that just all of this within the same angle is going to lead to Morton dealing with a lot of pitches and ultimately bounced a little early.
Yep, exactly. And we have good market dynamics working for us. We've seen the lines move throughout the morning in this direction. We've had it pulled off at a couple books. We had it at plus 120 like 15 minutes before the show, and that's gone. But minus 102 here, I think is still pretty good. The bat's projecting right around 15, so we're getting some pretty good edge here.
Putting you on the spot, 17.5 outs. Give me the inning that he has to be bounced before.
He can't complete 6.
He cannot complete 6. So you're rooting for 5.2 innings pitched or less. Yeah. Always a tricky one because it messes with you. Maybe I'm just simple in that way. We saw Malcolm Gillis again. He was able to get plus money. Curious, the chat's awfully quiet this morning. People are bouncing around book to book, but let us know in the chat. Were you able to get it? Where did you find it? What did you get? Charlie Morton plus 102. Dane was able to get even money on that one. So people finding better than both of the releases within the chat. Number 3, moving on. This goes back to Caesars for the best price that we were able to find just before the show. And the game that we are looking at for a prop that is going to be widely available at almost every single book that you're looking at. But the game that we're going to for the third release of the day is Miami at Philadelphia. And this is, again, a bet that before we came on air was widely available, but the best odds that we can find was at Caesars. So we'll give everybody a couple seconds to get into the Marlins-Phillies game for the third release of the day. The market that we will be looking at within the Marlins-Phillies game is pitcher strikeouts. So we're going back to a pitcher strikeout prop for the second release of the day. This one within the Marlins-Phillies game, the best price we saw was at Caesars, but I'm going to be curious to see what people find as we go through this. A couple more seconds for everyone to catch up. Marlins-Phillies pitcher strikeout prop. Third release of the day is Braxton Garrett under 5.5 strikeouts, minus 139. Derek, it's another bet that we've seen movement on, sort of reflects the ultimate influence that the Bat X projections have, especially early in the morning as everybody's getting to the desk for the first time and starting to move these numbers. When we're looking at Garrett under 5.5 Ks, tell everyone a little bit more about this one.
Yeah, so he's a young guy. He's done pretty well lately, but it's not an especially good matchup. It's a pretty big park downgrade for him. Normally pitches in very pitcher-friendly Marlins Park going into Citizens Bank today. It's 90 degrees there, so it's very hot, very hitter-friendly. The Phillies are another kind of underrated offense, a good offense. They just got Gene Segura back from injury, fairly low strikeout offense. And again, market dynamics are kind of working in our favor here. You look at the way it's moved throughout the day. There's three things really that I see like a really strong bet. You have the projection, which is obviously here. The bat is projecting 4.2 here for Garrett. So we're getting a full strikeout under. Then you see the market moving in this direction, which is always nice. And you see the sharper books ahead of some of these weaker lines that we can pick off as well. You see a book like Pinnacle. I think they were like negative 170 on this when I looked before the show or something like that. So you see those three things together. That gives me a lot of confidence that this is really the sharp side to be on. And we've seen this with all the bets today, basically.
Reed Phillips was saying that the price was very high at my bookie. And Reed, we've got to get you over to a much better sports book than my bookie, because I don't think you're going to have a lot of success playing at that one with a lot of these prices. So we'll work on that one. Spencer was wondering, would you take under 4.5? And with the projection, that's getting a little tight, isn't it?
Yeah. Again, the projection's 4.2. So if you're getting really good odds, if you're getting, I don't know, maybe plus 130, plus 140, I feel pretty good about that. If you're closer to 100 or plus 110 or something, then maybe not.
Okay, so let's leave it up to Spencer to ultimately decide there based on the price. You didn't say what was listed in there, so I can't quite give you a better answer there, but consider that when looking at the under 4.5. So third release of the day, under 5.5 Ks for Braxton Garrett. Moving into release number 4, busy show. Best odds available for this one before coming on air were at BetMGM. So if you have BetMGM, this is where you are going to find the best price as of about 12 minutes ago. And we're going back to the Miami-Philadelphia game. So we'll have to go back into the game that you were just in. You may ultimately still have the menu open. That's going to save you some time here on this one specifically. So we'll wait for everybody to get back into the Marlins-Phillies game, and then we'll move into the market in just a second. The market for the fourth release is going to be pitcher outs. So we're looking at a outs prop for the second release, or the fourth release of the day, second release within the Miami-Philadelphia game. We'll give everybody just a couple of seconds to get into the pitcher total outs for the Miami-Philadelphia game. Let everyone catch up and just get to the same spot, and then we will get to the fourth release of the day. For the fourth release, we are going with Braxton Garrett under 15.5 outs. We have the decimal odds, as producer Mick is in Canada, but that reflects to minus 117 at 1.85. Doing it on the spot, you learn some things as a bookmaker that stick with you, and this may be the only case that I can live translate decimal odds on air, but hey, it's coming to work. Some may correct and say minus 118, but we'll go minus 117. Braxton Garrett under 15.5 outs. And again, just like the first situation with Charlie Morton, much of the same ultimately applies here, I'm guessing, as well for the outs.
Yeah, it's pretty much all the same thing. The bat's projecting 13.4 here, so we're getting 2 full outs on this number. We're getting it close to even money when sharper books, Pinnacle has us negative 173. It's a huge gap there. And so I really like this number here for Garrett.
Market tell in many ways.
And we're on the right side of this one. With Morton, he can't complete 6 innings. With Garrett, 15.5 means he can go 5, finish the inning, and we can still win. He just can't go back out for the next inning, that's always the side you want to be on if you can with these outs.
I was going to put you on the spot there, but that works out. You knew the question was coming and answered it. So we're hoping that we see Garrett yanked from the game before he completes, or rather as he completes the 5th inning and goes no further. Fifth release of the day. Busy show, 15 minutes. We're holding everyone with us. Hopefully you're enjoying bouncing around all these sports books, getting some props, a lot of advantages out there. For the 5th release, we are going to Texas, Houston as the game, and the best odds for this before we came on air were available at Caesars. If you have the Caesars Sportsbook app, we would recommend getting over there to get the best price on this prop, which is in the Texas-Houston game. Producer Mick has been very busy. He has Astros on the lower third, and before anyone points it out, we'll leave it at Astros. See, we're making him work today. I like this. 5 bets. Everyone's jumping around. It's a fun Tuesday morning. The market, which we're looking at for the fifth release in the Texas-Houston game, is pitcher outs. Look how quickly he corrected that. We're getting to pitcher total outs for the fifth release inside the Texas-Houston game. We'll give everybody a couple seconds to catch up to the fifth release, Texas-Houston, best odds at Caesars, pitcher outs recorded. And the fifth release of the show, Morton, Perez under 17.5 total outs plus 115. So the fifth release of the day, Morton, Perez under 17.5 plus 115. I know there's going to be people in the chat watching this video that see different prices because when you get something that's listed as this extreme, you're going to be teetering on probably 16.5 or potentially 18.5 as well, either side. So curious what you guys were seeing, where you were seeing it, what did you ultimately bet? And then like the first situation with Charlie Morton, this puts it right at the end of an inning. So that becomes interesting too within this pricing. But Derek, when we're looking at this prop here, similar situation to what we're dealing with the other two, or what's leading you to Perez in the under here?
Yeah, he's facing a really good Astros offense. You know, they added Trey Mancini at the deadline, so they've gotten better. Really, though, it's a pitcher who has overperformed this year. His ERA is like 2.5, and he's not a 2.5 ERA pitcher. He's like a 4 ERA pitcher. So he's gotten deep into games. A lot of it's been on good luck, and that's going to run out for him, especially against a team like Houston. We would expect that to happen. So, you know, the under here looks pretty good.
Matt Lozar was able to get plus 110 at DraftKings. Malcolm Gillis, who's been great with prices, bet 364, cousin of bet 365. He was able to get plus 120. Marco said he got plus 135 at Barstool. I had a feeling that this one would kind of have a wide range of prices, and looks like everybody was able to get a pretty good number on all of this. So we have 5 releases in total today. That was the fifth and final. A recap of everything we bet. Charlie Morton under 5.5 Ks plus 104. Charlie Morton under 17.5 outs minus 102. Braxton Garrett under 5.5 Ks minus 139. Braxton Garrett under 15.5 outs, minus 117. And then the fifth and final one, Morton Perez under 17.5 outs plus 115. A lot of bets, a lot of them at plus money. Looks like a very exciting day of baseball. Most that's ever been given out on a show, Derek. Has there ever been more than 5?
I think 5's the most. You know, today we kind of double dipped a couple. So hopefully that works out for us. It adds some extra variance if those guys do well. But I liked what I was seeing on all the bets. So
a lot of advantages from the bad X, and I have a good feeling that these are going to work in our favor, like all 5 of the angles. Appreciate everybody for stopping by. We will be back with you on Thursday for more props from Derek Carty and the Bat X. Talk to you guys then.
Tomorrow, Wednesday.
Wednesday. Look at me. Tuesday morning, Wednesday. It's almost football season. My days are all Wednesday, we'll be back with you.